Your hips feel weak for a reason. It's not just your age, it's a signal that your body's most powerful stability muscles have fallen asleep. For years, you may have been told that walking or simple leg lifts are enough to stay strong. But if you still feel unsteady on your feet, if getting up from a low chair feels like a major effort, or if you notice a slight waddle in your walk, it's because the key muscles responsible for your balance, your glutes, are not firing correctly. This isn't about building a bigger backside, it's about rebuilding your foundation for confident, stable movement. Today we are going to change that. I will guide you through 3 forgotten, yet incredibly simple exercises designed specifically to wake up these dormant muscles. You don't need a gym, you don't need any complicated equipment, and you can do them right in the comfort of your own home. These aren't just random movements, they are precise signals to your nervous system, reestablishing a connection that may have been weak for years. The problem is often called gluteal amnesia, but a simpler way to think of it is sleeping glute syndrome. Decades of sitting in office chairs, in cars, and on couches have trained these powerful muscles to switch off. Your body, in its attempt to keep you moving, finds other, less efficient muscles to do the job. Your lower back muscles and your hamstrings start to overwork, which can lead to aches and pains in those areas. Meanwhile, your primary engine for power and stability remains dormant. This is why you can walk for miles, but still feel weak and unstable in your hips. We are not going to focus on big, exhausting movements. Instead, we're targeting the control system. We are reestablishing the vital brain-to-muscle connection that tells your glutes it's time to wake up and support you with every step you take. Let's begin with our first exercise, which is designed to awaken the critical muscles on the side of your hips. This first movement is the standing hip abduction and adduction slide. It specifically targets the gluteus medius, a muscle located on the outer surface of your hip. Think of this muscle as the unsung hero of your balance. It's responsible for keeping your pelvis level every single time you take a step. When the gluteus medius is weak, your hip can drop slightly with each step. You may not even notice it, but this small drop creates an unstable, wobbly gait that significantly increases your risk of a stumble or fall. This simple sliding motion will reactivate this crucial stabilizer and teach it to fire on command again. To begin, stand up straight on a polished floor like tile or hardwood. If you have carpet, a simple paper plate or a furniture slider will work perfectly. Place a small towel, a paper towel, or your slider under the foot of the leg you intend to move. If you feel at all unsteady, please stand next to a sturdy chair or a countertop for support. Your safety is the top priority. Keep your posture tall and straight, with your feet pointing directly forward. Gently tighten your abdominal muscles as if you're bracing for a small nudge. This helps stabilize your core. Now, slowly slide your foot on the towel directly out to the side. The key here is to keep weight on the sliding leg by allowing your body to move with it. Don't just push your foot out while leaving your body behind. Your whole torso and hip should travel with the foot. Go only as far as you feel comfortable and in control. Now for the most important part, the return. Focus intently as you use the muscles of your inner thigh and your hip to slowly pull that foot back along the floor, returning it to the starting position next to your stationary leg. The movement should be smooth and controlled, not jerky. As you slide your foot out, you should feel a gentle stretch or engagement in your inner thigh. As you pull it back in, you should feel the muscles on the outside of your hip, your gluteus medius, working to control the motion. A common mistake is to bend the torso to the side instead of moving the hips. Your shoulders should remain level throughout the entire exercise. Another error is to perform the movement too quickly. This is not about speed, it's about control and muscle activation. Think of it as a slow, deliberate dance. Perform 8 to 12 slides on one side before carefully switching the towel to the other foot and repeating the sequence. Our second exercise is the seated hip abduction with a resistance band. We are now going to isolate the same side hip muscles, but this time in a safe seated position. This is a fantastic progression because it takes the challenge of balance completely out of the equation. This allows you to focus 100% of your attention on the muscle contraction itself. By adding a simple resistance band, we provide the muscle with clear feedback encouraging it to work harder and grow stronger. This isn't about heavy lifting. It's about creating consistent, controlled tension to wake the muscle up. This movement directly translates to better control and stability when you are standing and walking. For this exercise, you will need a looped resistance band. If you don't have one, you can still perform the movement and focus on the contraction, but the band adds a significant benefit. Sit on the edge of a sturdy, stable chair that won't slide. Your feet should be flat on the floor, about hip-width apart, with your knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Loop the resistance band around both of your thighs, placing it just a couple of inches above your knees. Sit up tall, with your back straight and your core engaged. Place your hands on your thighs or on the side of the chair for support. Keeping your left leg perfectly still, begin to press your right knee outwards against the resistance of the band. Move slowly and deliberately. The goal is to push your knee out as far as you can without twisting your body or lifting your foot off the floor. Your torso should remain facing forward. Hold the outermost position for a brief second, feeling the tension build on the side of your hip. Then, with equal control, slowly return your knee to the starting position. Do not let the band snap your leg back. Resisting the pull of the band on the way in is just as important as pushing out. You should feel a distinct sensation, perhaps a warming or a mild burning, right on the side of your hip and buttock. That's your gluteus medius and its supporting muscles firing up. A very common mistake is to use the whole body to push the knee out, twisting at the waist. Keep your upper body still and silent. The movement should only come from your hip. Another mistake is letting the foot roll onto its outer edge. Keep both feet planted firmly and flat on the floor throughout the exercise. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions on one side, focusing on quality over quantity, before switching to the other leg. Our third and final exercise is the isometric gluteus medius, in standing against a wall. This movement uses a powerful technique called isometrics. This simply means we will be creating tension in the muscle without actually moving the joint. Isometrics are incredibly beneficial, especially as we age, because they build strength with very low impact on the joints themselves. More importantly, they train your brain to hold a steady, stable contraction. This is the exact skill your body needs when you're standing on one leg, even for that split second while walking or climbing stairs. This exercise is the final step in cementing that mind-muscle connection, ensuring your stabilizers are ready to support you. To set up, stand with your side next to a wall. Let's say your right side is closer to the wall. You should be close enough that you can press your leg into it, but not so close that you're leaning. The leg closest to the wall, your right leg in this case, is the one you will be exercising. Stand tall with your feet together. Now bend the knee of that right leg, bringing your heel up toward your buttock as if you're about to kick a ball behind you. Keep your thighs parallel to each other. Your knees should be side by side. Now, while maintaining this position, gently press the outside of your right thigh into the wall. You're not trying to push the wall over. It is a firm, steady pressure. Ensure your body remains straight and your hips stay square, facing forward. Do not lean your shoulder into the wall or twist your torso. The pressure should be generated entirely from your hip muscle. Hold this steady press against the wall for 20 to 30 seconds. You should feel a deep, steady contraction building in the side of your hip. It's not a sharp pain, but a feeling of deep, muscular work. It might even start to tremble slightly as it fatigues, which is perfectly normal. After holding the contraction, gently relax and lower your foot back to the floor. The most common mistake here is holding your breath. Remember to breathe steadily and deeply throughout the hold. Another error is allowing the hips to tilt or the body to lean. Use a mirror if it helps you stay aligned. Perform 2 to 3 holds of 20 to 30 seconds on one side, then turn around and repeat the exercise with the other leg against the wall. Let's delve deeper into what you should be feeling during the standing hip slide and how to troubleshoot it. The primary sensation you are looking for is a smooth, controlled tension building on the outside of the hip of your standing, stationary leg. That leg is working hard to stabilize your entire body. You should also feel the muscles of your inner thigh on the sliding leg, as it does the work to pull your foot back to the center. If you feel a sharp pinching sensation in the front of your hip, it's often a sign that you're leaning your torso too far forward. Correct this by imagining a string pulling the top of your head towards the ceiling, keeping your chest lifted and your core gently braced. If your lower back begins to ache, it's a strong indicator that you are arching your spine to initiate the movement instead of using your hip muscles. To fix this, perform a slight pelvic tuck before you begin. Think of pulling your belt buckle up towards your chin just a tiny bit. This will help ensure the work stays in your hips where it belongs. For those who find this movement challenging, an easier variation is to simply reduce the range of motion. Slide your foot out only a few inches, focusing entirely on the control and the muscle sensation rather than the distance. You can also place both hands firmly on your support surface for maximum stability. To make this exercise more challenging as you get stronger, slow down the tempo dramatically. Take a full 5 seconds to slide your foot out and another 5 seconds to pull it back in. This increased time under tension forces the muscles to work much harder. You can also add a 1-second pause at the furthest point of the slide, consciously squeezing the outer hip muscle of your standing leg before you begin the return journey. Now for the seated hip abduction with the band. Let's refine what you should be feeling. The work should be concentrated purely on the side of your glutes, in that fleshy part of your upper buttock. You might even place a hand there to feel the muscle bunching up and hardening as you press your knee out. If you feel more tension in the front of your thigh, it means your powerful quadriceps muscles are trying to take over the job. To fix this, try slightly turning your toes inward before you begin the press. This small adjustment in foot position can help to preferentially recruit the gluteus medius. If you feel your whole body wanting to shift in the chair or your opposite hip lifting up, it means you're recruiting larger, unnecessary muscles for momentum. Anchor yourself by consciously pressing your opposite foot firmly into the ground and keeping your hands on the chair for stability. If you don't have a band or find the resistance too intense at first, you can begin with a simple isometric version. Place your hands on the outsides of your knees and press your knees outwards against your hands, while your hands provide equal resistance by pressing inwards. Nothing moves, but the muscle is forced to contract. Hold this for 5 seconds, then relax. This is a perfect way to teach the muscle to fire without any equipment. For a progression, the most obvious step is to use a stronger resistance band. Another excellent way to increase the difficulty is to focus on the eccentric, or return, phase of the movement. Press your knee out for 1 count, but then take 4 to 5 slow, deliberate counts to return to the starting position, fighting the band's pull every single inch of the way. Finally, let's explore the isometric wall press in more detail. The sensation you are aiming for is one of deep, sustained activation. It should not be painful, but it should feel like the muscle is working hard, like it's being switched on, and held in a state of readiness. If you feel the pressure more in your knee joint than your hip, check your position. Ensure your knee is bent to roughly 90 degrees and that the pressure is being applied with the broad, fleshy part of your outer thigh, not directly on the side of the knee joint itself. If your standing leg's hip begins to feel fatigued, that's actually an excellent sign. It means your gluteus medius on the support side is also working hard to keep you balanced and your pelvis level, which is a fantastic secondary benefit of this exercise. Focus on keeping your hips perfectly still and square to the front, as if they are encased in concrete. To make this exercise easier, simply reduce the duration of the hold. Start with 10-second holds and gradually build up to 30 seconds as you feel more confident. This turns everyday activities into opportunities to reinforce strength and stability. As always, listen to your body and perform these movements within a pain-free range. It's best to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new exercise program. If you found these exercises helpful in understanding your body better, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more clear, simple routines to help you move with confidence. What was the biggest surprise you learned about your glute muscles today? Let me know in the comments below.